намекать на то, что ничего нового не будет разной резко. Ведь на самом деле мы когда-то все учились на протестации.
Your Beatitude, Your Eminence, Your Grace, I would like to thank very, very profoundly His Eminence Archbishop Justinian for his invitation to be with you today, especially on the anniversary of your birthday. Congratulations again, Your Eminence, once more on that. For those who don't know, we are St. Vladimir's Orthodox Theological Seminary. We were founded in 1937. We began in an apartment building opposite Union Theological Seminary on the upper west side of Manhattan. In 1963, we moved up to Scarsdale, and we've been working and teaching in Crestwood ever since. We continue the tradition of theological education that was handed down to us from the Russian Church in the 19th century. There were Russian schools here at the end of the 19th century and the beginning of the 20th century. In Minneapolis and in Tennessee, one of the rectors of the schools, Father Leonti Tokevich, actually gave a report on theological education to the Moscow Council in 1918, in which he spoke about what kind of theological education would be needed for the new world. Well, we continue that work at St. Vladimir's Seminary. We now have, I believe, 1,500 graduates. We have amongst them, I believe, 40 bishops, including patriarchs. The current patriarch of Ethiopia is in fact an alumnus from St. Vladimir's Seminary, as is his Beatitude, and his Grace Bishop Melchizedek. So we've been serving in all these ways. We've also been working towards serving all the different Orthodox communities in North America. We have students from the Antiochian Archdiocese, from the Serbian Archdiocese, from the Serbian Church, from the Greek Archdiocese, and we've also had students from the Moscow Patriarchal Church in America, but also from Moscow coming to study with us to continue their education. We are extremely blessed in our work by the fact that 2 years ago, I think it was, His Eminence Metropolitan Hilarion was invited to join the Board of Trustees at St. Vladimir's Seminary. We've had connection with His Eminence for many, many years before that, but 2 years ago he became a member of our Board of Trustees to help guide the work of our school in the evolving state of orthodoxy in North America and throughout the world. My first acquaintance with His Eminence was as a young hieromonk in Oxford. We were students together, along with Dr. Peter Buchanan, who's here at the back. We were students together under then Bishop Callistos, now Metropolitan Callistos. I left Oxford the year when His Eminence came, but I heard from Metropolitan Callistos that this young hieromonk that he now had under his wing in Moscow was really the most intense, the most dedicated, the most zealous, the most devoted, and the most brilliant student he ever had. At Oxford University, you are given 3 years. They expect you to take at least 3 years to finish your doctoral work. Usually it takes 4 or 5, but they say it must be a minimum of 3 years. Well, that wasn't going to stop the young hieromonk. He finished his doctoral work in 2 years, which is a record by any standard. He then went on to gain a doctorate from Saint-Serge in Paris, and there's many, many other academic accolades being awarded to him over the years. He has taught at St. Vladimir's Seminary. Before becoming a bishop, he taught at St. Vladimir's Seminary, at St. Herman's Seminary, at Cambridge University, and again, a number of places around the world. And during these years, we met each other in different places at different times, and we came to know each other very, very well. And I'm really grateful for his friendship, and I thank him very profusely for that. His work, which is what we're really celebrating here today, his work is huge, monumental, phenomenal. I was looking on Wikipedia. I know you shouldn't look on Wikipedia. I tell my students all the time, don't look on Wikipedia. But on Wikipedia, it said that his current list of publications is over 600 items. Not all books, not all articles, but a mixture of the two. 600 items. There is a wide variety of work in all of that. There's some very, very high-level scholarly, historical and theological work. In that I'd mention especially the critical edition he produced for a very prestigious series published in France, Source Chrétienne. He did a critical edition of St. Simeon the Studite, the spiritual father of St. Simeon the New Theologian. He wrote his doctoral work on St. Simeon the New Theologian, and that was then published and again in another very distinguished series by Oxford University Press, Oxford Early Christian Studies. He's produced monographs on St. Gregory the Theologian, St. Isaac of Syria. He's done a major 2-volume work studying the controversy regarding the divine name at the beginning of the 20th century and the antecedent history to all of that. He has produced more popular level work, such as a book called The Elements of Faith, The Mystery of Faith, describing in a comprehensive but single volume all the different aspects of the Orthodox Christian faith. And most recently, he produced a book called Christ the Conqueror of Hell, The Descent into Hades from an Orthodox Perspective, which we published a few years ago in 2009. And then a multi-volume work, encyclopedic work on Orthodox Christianity, of which we have yesterday in fact, received the first copies of the English translation of Volume 1 of the Encyclopedia of the multi-volume work Orthodox Christianity, the historical and canonical structure of the Orthodox Church. When people produce multi-volume works like that, usually they do it as an editor, and they get many other people to write the articles so that they can step back and put the work together after everybody's produced it. That's not the way that His Eminence has gone about this. This is a multi-volume work which is written by him himself, covering all aspects of the Orthodox faith. This one is on the history and canonical structure of the Church. Subsequent volumes deal with the theology, deal with the art and architecture, deal with liturgy, deal with ethics and aesthetics, contemporary issues, and so on. It is going to be one of the most comprehensive surveys of the history, the culture, the theology, the liturgical life of the Orthodox Church in the modern language. So we are very honoured to be able to publish Volume 1 of that and to present it today to His Eminence. He's also written many, many other items, as I said, 600, from articles to more popular pieces in newspapers, in current affairs magazines, and in all of these, he shows the depth of his learning, not always with footnotes, but always the depth of his learning and addressing it to the contemporary question in hand. He's never shy of not only saying that the Orthodox tradition is able to answer questions today, but actually boldly, passionately, with intelligence, with sensitivity, with spiritual wisdom, stepping out and actually trying to articulate different items with regard to our situation today. So it's a great honor for us to be able to present that book today. We've asked Father Chad to say a few words about music and also about the production of the book and how that came about, and to introduce other people who are working on it, and also perhaps for Ted Basil as well. So, Father Chad.
Thank you, Father John. First, we'll look at the aspect of music. One of the things I do as a chancellor, I'm like the chief salesman for the seminary. The tickets that we have on sale for the concert, we have only a few left, so I wouldn't hesitate at all if you're interested in being part of this premiere in the English language, at least in America, of St. Matthew Passion. You've seen the posters, and Professor Butiniff in the back is the man you need to see about those tickets. I think it was maybe 6 years ago when I was living in Alaska. I came into our house and Matushka was sitting with a Bible on her lap, weeping copiously in front of the television. And I immediately wondered what kind of calamity had struck my house. She was watching EWTN and the presentation of St. Matthew's Gospel Passion from Rome. She had the Bible there in order to follow in English. Well, now it has been translated into English. Father John and I traveled to Toronto a couple of years ago to hear the English premiere. The Canadians beat us to it. We were determined to work with His Eminence to have the American premiere in English here in New York. It's been an amazing process to reach this point. I've been working with a committee of 12 people, including representatives from the Roman Catholic Archdiocese, who have been really an incredible partner, opening lots of doors for us to make this possible. So I thank all of my committee members, but most especially we thank His Eminence for giving us the challenge. It's proven to us that we as an institution are able to actually move forward with this kind of musical production. The seminary has never undertaken this kind of venture before, and already people are asking me what we're going to do next year. I've told them to speak to me next week after this is over and we've had a chance to breathe, but I think there's much interest in us making this some kind of annual event. We are the American distributor for all of His Eminence's music, and we have copies of CDs today of the Divine Liturgy, which are available. When we look at St. Vladimir Seminary Press, there's a process that we go through to determine which books we're interested in printing. When this particular new volume, which is part of probably 6, 7, maybe 8 books. See, His Eminence is very clever. You know, when you're an author, if you can get one volume in and you know it's a series, and you've got multiple ones coming on behind it. So we look forward to the production of these new volumes, at least on an annual basis. But when this one was proposed, there was very little debate. We were just eager to simply move forward with this catechism because we knew its quality before it was translated. Ted Basil is, of course, our director of St. Vladimir Seminary Press, which is the largest distributor in English of Orthodox publications in the world. Paul Catcher stepped up in a remarkable way with a real rush. Paul, please stand so we can acknowledge your work as a translator. Father Benedict Churchill, who's new on our SBS press team, also did amazing work. And there's a woman present. She's probably got a camera in her hand. She left. Oh, well, we need to give her big accolades even in her absence. Matushka Deborah Bolanik, I think she just works round the clock like 24 hours to to make sure everything is on time and in place. She's incredibly meticulous, so please acknowledge the hard work. So Ted Basil has a few words.
This is always a pleasure to be able to present a book, especially to such a distinguished friend of St. Vladimir's and supporter. And we take delight in really relishing this moment in which we're going to present His Eminence the first volume of his collected series. Father Chad thanked the appropriate people, and I really appreciate all their hard work. I certainly thank Father Chad and Father Bear for their oversight and their stewardship and the direction of the seminary as well as St. Vladimir's Press. St. Vladimir's Press, as Father Chad said, is the largest English language Orthodox publisher of Orthodox books in the world. We have over 600 publications now, acquisitions from other groups, and you ever have the opportunity to go online to our website to see our catalog. It's incredibly varied. It's from basic catechetical works to incredibly scholarly works in all Orthodox disciplines. And something that the church needs, but one facet of St. Vladimir's Seminary Press, which I think is one of the most critical elements, has to do with its missionary work. Obviously, we feed the Orthodox, we supply the material that nourishes the soul and the spirit, but it's rather incredible how the books that we publish, the music, the catechetical works, go beyond the Orthodox Church. This is the kind of the fodder, the seed that really gives fertile ground to the growth of the church by bringing people to it. People read as you know, people read their way into the faith. They also listen their way into the faith, as Metropolitan Ilarion will probably tell us about, and contributes to that. But it's amazing how many non-Orthodox eventually, first of all, find out, are nourished by the material, find out information, gain knowledge, and then eventually become Orthodox because of this work. So, we ask your prayers. God bless continued work here in the development of the press. It's vital for the mission of our church in the world. So, with that, I'd like to ask Father Bear and Father Chad to come up, and we want to officially present the book with some photographs to His Eminence. So if you could come up in front here, Your Eminence. Have a copy. Very good. And the attitude, we'll take this first, and then we'll come up and all take it together. Join us now, your beatitude. Okay. Thank you. And I think the last part of our ceremony will be to enjoy the fellowship here, and you have the opportunity to buy the books and the material that we brought, as well as looking on our website and finding out additional resources. Thank you. Well, the books are back. Right there, like His Eminence. The books are in the back.
The books are in the back. His Eminence will be seated here for signing.
Oh, if you want to sign it.
завтрашний концерт гостей Илариона.